Hello and welcome to Millie and Billie No Ball with me, Billie McKessar.
And me, Millie Clegg. Here we're talking all things women's sport and football.
And also about alternative pathways for those who might be looking to do something outside of what all their friends are doing and trying something new.
Make sure to follow us on all our platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, at Millie and Billie No Ball.
And remember, it's Millie with a Y and Billie with an IE. So stay tuned and listen or watch along for more. Okay, we are recording.
Yay! Okay. Billie, where did you find your love for football?
So I didn't really have a choice in my love for football because I was in Arsenal baby onesies straight out the womb.
Love
Had
it.
like a little Arsenal baby milk bottle. Yeah, it was intense.
Wow.
Because my granddad had been a fan for most of his life. And when my dad and his family moved to London when he was 10 or 11. And we're living like right by Highbury. So we'd go to all the games. So obviously I had no choice. My brother had no choice. My cousin had no choice. And my mum had no choice. But what about you? Where did you find your love for football?
Well, mine wasn't as quick, I would say. I first started playing when I was 5, and that's probably when I started loving it. Well, actually, I was watching my brother play for a year, and I guess I was sick of being on the sideline. I wanted to get out there. So the next year I started playing, and that's when I found my love for it. Yeah, and then I started supporting Man United, so kind of a rival.
Do your brothers support Man United as well?
My older brother does, and my younger brother supports Man City. So,
Really?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Not good, to be
Not
honest.
good.
Not good at all. When he was like 7, he had a Liverpool and a Man City shirt. And I remember they were playing one day, and he had his Liverpool shirt on. They were winning 1-0. Man City scored. All of a sudden, half-time, he comes back in his Man City shirt. Man City win. And I'm like, wow. Okay.
That is like
From
almost,
that day, I think he
almost
committed.
as bad as like the dual team scarves.
Yeah. No, literally.
I'm a hater of those
Oh,
scarves.
100%. Even if you're a mum, like, you can't do
I
that.
don't
Like, pick
care.
a team. Pick a team.
You can support like your child, but pick a team.
Literally. But from that day, I would say he's been fully Man City.
To be completely honest, like and fair to your brother, I did have a small Liverpool era.
Wow.
Because no, because it's fair enough.
The drama.
So my godfather is a massive Liverpool fan.
Okay.
And before I could read, this is the important part of the story. Before I could read, he bought me a Liverpool shirt and it had Billie on the back. So I was
really
like,
cute.
oh, sweet. And I couldn't read. So I was like, oh my God, it's an Arsenal shirt. Because I had absolutely no idea. And I think it ended up in the bin. I think it mysteriously disappeared. I think
wow.
Dad took it and put it in the bin.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So Millie has obviously had a pretty crazy last couple of years, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Like, it's been quite hectic. Yeah, I guess my journey, well, I obviously started at 5, but when it kind of got real was probably in 2022 when I finished in my boys' team because I think there was something that went on where our team wasn't allowed in the top grade anymore. I ended up going to Auckland United for maybe a few months, and then I got selected for an under-20s team for an Australia tour, and I managed to do quite well there. So then I joined the FFDP in Auckland. Like, it's like a Future Ferns like development program thing. Yeah. So I did that.
So how old were you then?
I was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that for half the year until the under-20s World Cup. So I did that. I went to the under-20s World Cup in Costa Rica, which was amazing. I managed to score a goal, so that was cool. Yeah.
I do remember that, actually.
Yeah, that was amazing. And then I went to under-17s in India, which was also amazing.
So you went under 20 to under 17.
Yeah, it was hectic. I didn't go to school much that year.
Yeah.
And that whole year I was like sick the whole year.
Oh my goodness.
I was like bed football, bed, football, like
well,
no
it's also
school.
a massive like lifestyle change.
Yeah,
so
it was a lot. It was a lot.
Your brain would have been
that
like,
year. Yeah, but as soon as I got off the plane from under 17s, I basically flew down to Wellington for my first professional season. And I was actually at the time thinking of going to the US for college.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually sign a pro contract. I was just an amateur, but it was like I was a pro. I did that season at Wellington and then
did really well.
Thank you. And then I got my first Ferns call up at the end of the season, which was super exciting. I went away there, and then obviously it was a World Cup year, so I had a World Cup camp thing to try and get selected for the team. I managed to get selected for the team, which was really cool because a home World Cup is insane, especially
and then
for
you
your
were just
first
like
World Cup
everywhere. It was just like it was like Millie Clegg, and they're like Millie Clegg. Everyone's like, shit, okay, like she's here now. Like,
yeah, it was a lot.
And
but
then here we go. Millie Clegg.
Oh gosh, yeah, but it was a lot. We had that, and then I went to Western Sydney. I tore my hamstring twice, so I only played 45 minutes of the season.
Tore her hamstring twice.
So good. But yeah, then I finished that, and I had already negotiated a contract with Racing Louisville and the NWSL.
Was that weird being at a club injured and then knowing you're going to leave?
Yeah, it was kind of hard. Like I think the clubs negotiated that I'd stay till the end of the season.
When all that is going on, are you aware of all the conversation that's happening, or do they kind of keep you out of the chat to keep you locked into rehab and...
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of behind the scenes chat, like with my agent and probably the clubs, but I get the Spark Notes version, I would say, but
which probably makes it easier.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier.
And at that point, negotiation.
Yeah, and at that point, I wasn't injured, but I was expecting to play the whole season.
Yeah,
but it didn't work out. So after my second injury, it was going to be like a 3 to 4 month rehab. So I ended up going home to rehab for about 2 to 3 months, and then I went over to America to do my last month and a bit of rehab, and then obviously started training over there. And how about you? How has your journey been, Billie?
Well, this time last year, I was deciding between going to Otago University and university in Melbourne.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah. So I decided to go to Melbourne to study graphic design at a uni there.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
Yeah.
How long were you there?
I was there for the whole first semester.
Wow, okay.
So I got there, I was like, I loved graphic design at school, and this course, I was like, yes, it's nice and broad and interesting, and it's really highly ranked. Like, I'm going to be pushed, and I wanted to learn all the software and everything. And I get there, and I'm in an awesome college, which is like residential halls, and met a lot of great people there, which was really nice.
Yeah.
Like, I still really love I had a good group of girls from home that actually were with me, which was really nice.
Yeah.
But the course was absolutely not what I was expecting at all. Like, we were doing a lot of drawing, and the lecturers were saying, oh, you guys all would have been top of your class at visual arts. And I was like, I'm not from here. No. I did not study visual arts. I was just making pretty posters on my iPad.
Yeah.
I was not good.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no, let's stick it out.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Then
I ended up just calling my parents. I was like, guys, I don't like it here. I'm not happy. And they're like,
meeting my parents every day.
Yeah. And I was like, guys.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, let's talk about this. And they were so helpful with everything. So I knew that Joe, my boyfriend, was going to be at home. So I was like, not that I'm moving home for him, but it is convenient that I know a few people, and at least I have Joe at home. Like, while I'm figuring out what I want to do,
100%.
at least I have him there. So I signed up for online university, which Millie also does.
Yeah,
we
we
love online.
Massey
It's the
University.
best.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah, no one can bash Massey online.
Oh, so good.
It is so good,
So good.
so flexible,
Yeah.
and it just gave me the freedom to be like, oh, okay, let's chill out, because I was, during year 12 and 13, I would be at school from like 7 in the morning for football till like 7 at night or later for the school production, and then I was doing like, I loved school and I loved being involved at school. So I think I assumed that would be what I wanted for university.
Because
Because
exhausting.
because I loved it so much at school.
Yeah.
And I had all my girlfriends with me, like had the most amazing friend group, most amazing teachers. And I was like, yes, like this is what I want for uni. Like keep being involved in doing this and this. And then I was like, actually, this is not what I want at all. So I came home, started doing online uni in semester 2, but about 2-3 weeks after I got home, which was like end of sem 1, Joe goes away to the, I think it was under 20, under 19 World Cup qualifiers in Samoa. So he's aware of that. I'm like, oh, yeah, fine, whatever.
Perfect time.
And then about 3 days before he's meant to come home for this tournament, the night before he like plays for the like New Zealand, his first like New Zealand age group start.
Yeah. So cool, by the way. Shout out Joe.
Yeah, shout out Joe. He calls me and he's like, oh, so I just got a call and I'm going to be like moving over to, well, not moving at this point. He's like, yeah, I'm going over to England to trial. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like next year? And he was like, no, in about a week. And I was like, oh, I'm like, okay. At this point, I'm not really thinking anything of it because trials, you know, you can't really.
Yeah, you can't.
You have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I was just like, oh, that's like awesome.
Yeah.
Like silently, my friend, I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be alone. But obviously, that's his dream. So we love that.
Yeah.
We love it.
We love it.
So he comes home for 3 days. We pack all of his shit up.
Oh, you're such a good girlfriend.
Yeah, I know. Facts. Like, he's like on calls all throughout the evening, all throughout the day with his like past clubs, like agent, teams, like
he would have been busy.
PFA, parents, family, friends, like everyone just telling him their opinion, and he's just, you know, Joe, he's not really
as well
that sort of guy as well. So he was just having, it was like the craziest 3-4 days ever, packing up his life, sorting everything out. It was so exciting, but also kind of horrible at the same time.
It's a lot. 3 days as well. Quick turnaround.
Yeah, so he trials at West Brom for about 3-4 weeks, then has a 2-week like negotiation waiting period of sorting everything out.
Yeah.
And then he signs his contract. Like, oh my gosh, like he signed his contract for West Brom under 21s, and
amazing.
That was like amazing.
Yes.
So then let's not talk less about my boyfriend, talk more about me.
Yeah, we need to focus on Billie right now.
Then I end up going over to visit him in Birmingham.
Yay.
In September, and I spent some time in LA visiting my godfather, and then I flew to London, and my friend Izzy was there at the same time.
Shout out Izzy.
And had the most amazing month in the UK. And I was like, okay, and during that time I was doing university, like I was doing my 4 papers, and it was so easy to handle. And I was like, oh, wait, this is awesome. I can do uni and I can travel. Like we went to Portugal while I had my final assignments due.
Yes.
And I still had so much time. I think my time management was pretty good.
Yay.
And
mine is not.
Yeah, I think the time difference was the only difficult thing for like group assignments.
Yeah. That's what the issue I had, but
can make it work.
Yeah, it was fine.
And so then I came home in October and then decided to move over and live with Joe.
Yay.
So Millie and I have actually only recently become friends, really. I used Millie for my year 13
I completely
media
forgot about
studies project. It was a
Oh my
little
God.
like documentary about women's football, and she
Yes.
was so cute in it.
I was so nervous.
She was so good.
It was
She
so
was like, and I love
funny.
New Zealand gear. And
Right.
she was just like, oh, she was killing it.
It was so cute.
Yeah.
You were so nice, and I remember I hadn't met you before. I don't
No,
think. And
which is weird.
yeah, but you were so friendly. I was like, wow, like
Yeah. I was just surprised that I had felt like we had met before, even though we
Yeah.
hadn't, just because
we have so many
had
mutual friends. Yeah,
Because you think like the New Zealand like football
100%.
community, you kind of just know
Yeah,
everyone that's played.
yeah. Somehow we
Really?
hadn't crossed paths though.
Well, I guess you were at Ellerslie.
Yeah.
And then by the time we were doing like inter club, you were
Yeah,
boys, and I
Yeah.
was with the Western Springs Diamonds.
Springs
Yeah.
Diamond.
Yeah, fantastic team.
Shining bright.
Yeah, for real. We kind of saw each other out with our friends, and we were like, "Oh my god, hi,
Yeah.
hi!" And then we just did not
We clicked.
stop
Yeah.
talking at all. Like we
Yes.
didn't realize that we were gonna click,
Yeah,
and then we were
it
just
was like
"Oh,
instant. Yeah,
we
yeah.
tapped in."
Literally,
And
and
we
we had
just got
so
it
much in
straight
common
away.
as well.
Yeah, I don't think we realized how much we had in common.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how
Exactly,
you're
and
gonna
we didn't
click
know
with
each other,
someone.
yeah.
We didn't know each other. And
Yeah.
we were like, "This is awesome."
Yeah. It was like instant.
Yeah, and then basically peer pressured Millie to come down to R&B. You
No.
were resisting the peer pressure.
Yeah. Like I had already like bought my ticket, so
Yeah.
I kind of knew I had to go. But
But also balancing with training, like
yeah,
gonna
it was
be a
hard.
difficult
So I only
situation.
went 2 days, and I
Yeah.
I was training like before and
Yeah.
after. So I
She
had 2 days off.
She went for a run in Hamilton on the
Oh,
way back on
yeah.
the first. That is insane.
Yeah, it wasn't
that is
fun.
freakish from you. I don't even
Yeah.
think on that car ride home. I don't even remember it. My brain was not functioning at all, and
Yeah.
you were running around Hamilton.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes,
gotta do what you gotta do, you know.
yeah. So
But-
we had a fantastic time
Yeah.
at R&B.
When we were there, it was so fun. But
Before and after, I was like, "What just
Like,
happened?"
once you hit the bed, awful.
Yeah,
until you went out
Yeah.
again. Like so bad.
yeah.
But it was so fun.
10 out of 10. Would I
Yeah.
do it again?
Maybe 2 days, and maybe if it wasn't pouring in
maybe
rain.
like pre-order taxis to like.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
we're
that
getting a
would-
house
that would
if
be
we're going
good.
again.
Okay, so right now, if you are watching, you will be able to see
Yeah.
our beautiful 2025 vision boards. Millie has her iPad kit iPad. Wow,
Yeah.
these are awesome. So we just wanted
These
to
look
talk
great.
about some of the goals we have for 2025. This is going to be a big year for both of us, I
Yeah.
hope. So
Fingers
Millie,
crossed.
would you like to run us through some of your goals?
Well, I guess, I don't know, just have a great year.
Anything specific?
Yeah, well, for my football,
Yeah.
I want to just like, I don't know,
Mm.
play consistently, hopefully have a good year,
Score some goals.
score some goals, have fun with my football, because I feel like
Yeah.
the last few years it's been very stressful. I've got drink more water, because always need to drink more water. I've got like scheduling. I need to be better with my schedule, because I found last year, so kind of embarrassing,
Yeah.
I only did 2 papers last year.
Do any other girls in your team study?
Well, in the US, like,
Oh, they're
all
done.
of them
They've finished their study.
They're done their college.
Yeah.
So they're kind of living their life, and I'm grinding away.
Yeah. I think
But,
it's good.
yeah.
I think it's good that you still are
Yeah.
studying though. Like I guess everyone would have mixed opinions on still
Yeah.
studying, but you never know what's going to happen.
I think it's
Ever.
I think it's quite common in Australia and New Zealand,
Mm.
especially in the A-League. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the girls
Yeah.
do part-time study along with football. Just
Mhm.
because, like, I don't know, the women's game's obviously
Yeah.
progressing, but
And
You
also
still have to have
it
a
sets
plan
you
after.
up for afterwards,
100%.
like
yeah.
because you're doing business.
Business.
That can set you up to
Exactly, I
sports
feel like it's
business
quite a broad-
after, like
yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine.
Let's have
Okay,
a look
Billie,
at my
let's have a look at
vision
yours.
board.
What are your goals for the year?
Okay, now that I look at it, I kind of just wanted to make it look pretty.
Same.
I have photo of a girl doing Pilates.
Oh,
So I
love.
want to keep doing my Pilates, but it's so expensive.
Yes.
Like reformer Pilates is so
Yeah.
expensive, and I do enjoy mat Pilates, but there's something about the reformer that I love. I have lots of pictures of home decoration stuff because right now Joe's apartment looks like an IKEA showroom. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm not bashing IKEA baddies, but where's the flavour?
We need a little more than that.
We need a little more than that.
I'm sure Joe would love that.
Stuff.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you like obviously clean, but sometimes you need stuff.
Yeah, just like a filler. Otherwise
home?
It's kind of like echoey.
Yeah,
and
it's
not very homey.
We don't know like where we're always going to live, like how long we're going to live.
That's the thing I struggled with. Like, I feel like I'm only in a place for like a year, and then it's like, well, there's no real point.
Yeah, and we can't really
buying all this
stuff. It's not kind of justifiable to put up art and stuff because then we're going to have to get the walls picked
to
keep the bond. And it's a little bit of a difficult one to navigate, but I think we'll figure it out. And just making it feel more homely because I am so used to living with my parents. Yeah. So
Temu's a good place to go.
Temu!
Like, just because it's so cheap and like I don't know, it's not the greatest quality, but like
I found H&M was
like
also quite good. Yeah, over in the UK, that was good.
That's a good, that's a good one.
But there's no IKEA in Birmingham.
Oh, really?
Anyways, we had to order so much stuff while I was over there, and I was like, we need to get like a blanket. And Joe's like, oh, we don't need a blanket. And I'm like, we need to get like a new duvet for this, and he's like, we don't need that. Like this one's fine. I'm like, this is literally the cheapest, most artificial coverage for the bed ever.
Especially in Birmingham. It's freezing.
It's freezing. And all this stuff in the kitchen, like the lack of mixing bowls. He's like, like you can like come and like bake stuff for like me and my flatmate. And I was like, so you're good at baking. And I'm like, but what am I going to use? You don't have a mixing bowl.
Oh,
and the boys like
boys.
They leave their... When they open a packet of meat, they take out of that, instead of putting it into a different container to store in the fridge, they just leave the plastic container open with the meat inside. And I feel like that can't be sanitary.
Good. Yeah, it's going to get like dry.
It really can't be. And they'll have like 6 packets of eggs, but then no snacks because they just get fed at the club.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I need my snack.
Yeah.
I need like a muesli bar.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, instead of having a real dinner, like they'll get food from the club and then they'll just eat so much cereal.
Cereal for dinner?
What is it with boys?
England boys and their cereal. It's really weird. Like I've heard a lot about this.
Yeah, but I don't understand why because it can't be that healthy, right?
No. Well, like some of it is probably fine, but like can't be very filling.
Maybe it's like a dessert sort of situation.
But they eat it for dinner?
Yeah, but like dinner, like after like a small dinner, like just have a bowl of cereal. Yeah,
I could do that.
But it's so weird.
It is a little
eat
weird.
A bar of chocolate.
Yeah.
Well, don't if you're a professional footballer. But just like like before I go to bed, I'm just gonna have a nice bowl of mushy cereal. I don't get it.
What's his cereal of choice?
Well,
we can judge it.
He likes these like little. Oh no, I'm gonna expose him. He likes these little like chocolate crisscross ones,
like Cocoa Pops.
He likes really,
respect.
He loves healthy cereal.
He loves the Wheat Bix.
Yeah, covered in fruit and with a side of vegetables. Yeah. Nothing with chocolate or sugar in it at all.
Absolutely,
and it's filled with protein.
Yeah, all protein.
So you might be wondering, what is this freakish name, Millie and Billie No Ball?
Yes. And, like, you may be like, why isn't there a K?
Yeah. Can they not spell?
Yeah, can they not spell?
What is going on?
Yeah.
We actually think we're hilarious.
Yeah.
And that is why it is. We just thought we were really funny because often probably me more than Millie, because you obviously know ball because it's your job. But I am a victim. I'm a victim of can you name the starting 11?
Yeah.
Or
name these players.
Yeah, name these players. Or who's this? Who's this? Like, whip out the photo. Who's this? And it's like 5 photos of like different Mendies.
Yeah.
The amount of time I've fallen victim to that, it's like wrong. All of their names are Mendy.
Yeah.
That is a really bad one for me. That's happened. Or they're like, what happened in this game?
I know, it's like,
can I just watch it?
Can I just be a fan without having to like have all these questions?
So we think that we know ball.
Yeah, we definitely know enough.
We have no balls. So that is where we got the idea, no ball.
Yeah. So
'Cause
it's not
Millie
like us
and Billie-
mansplaining football.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
I don't know, a
We
female
just try to have
perspective
a
on
fun
football.
chat about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's some podcasts that are talking about women's football and
Yeah.
talking about the gossip of
Yeah.
the players and
Yeah.
the relationships
Yeah.
and the drama. And then there's some that are super analytical and,
Yeah.
you know,
There are some
talking
good ones out
strategy.
there as
There's
well.
some great
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Like, but we kind of want to make a good balance of
Football, lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, funny
Exciting.
stories. Like if something funny's happened in a game or there's
Yeah.
something funny that's happened online, then we'll be
Yeah.
talking about that. But we also want to be talking about, you know, specific things that happen in the game and
Yeah.
actually having conversations about the game and the fun around the world of football.
Yeah.
Because we come from a very small football community,
Yes.
I would say, in New Zealand.
100%.
More so you than me, but I just hear all about
Yeah.
it.
How Millie and Billie No
Yeah.
Balls came.
I also want to be talking about like the history of women's football in New
Yeah.
Zealand, because I think that is something that people don't really know about
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get some cool women who have played in the
Yeah.
past. We definitely know a few.
Yeah, we know
Yeah.
quite a lot. So
Because they
hopefully-
have the most interesting stories
Yeah.
that they haven't really been able to share on a
Yeah.
platform, because there wasn't a platform that
Yeah.
existed for them to share these stories. And I don't want to get into them because I want people to be able to tell them themselves.
Yeah.
But like,
we've got some cool people.
yeah, what women used to have to do to go and play these professional football games is insane. Like you would never.
And it
think
makes
about
us so grateful for
Mm.
like where we are right now. Like
we have to do a couple sausage sizzles to go to tournaments, but like that's nothing in comparison. Yeah, so we're hoping that obviously we like to talk about ourselves, but
Yeah.
we'd love to know what anyone who's listening would actually like to hear from us. Because we think that we're really interesting, but you might want to hear about something completely different
Yeah.
to what we're normally talking about.
We probably put maybe one of those questions bubbles up on our Instagram every now and then, and
We can comment anywhere.
yeah, or you can comment
Yeah.
down on our YouTube
Yeah.
or Instagram. Honestly, anywhere we'll probably see the
Instagram
questions.
DMs if it's something more specific that you
Yeah.
might not want
People.
the world to see.
And we will cover it
Yeah.
in a little segment of the podcast.
You might be
Future.
wondering, because I've just gone through the full process of getting a visa to live and work in the UK, which I know was really overwhelming. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much information. I need to get these documents sorted. I had to go to a biometrics appointment, which sounded so scary, but it was actually not scary at all. So if that's something you're interested about, the whole visa application process, I know the complete ins and outs of that. And I watched a lot of TikTok series on how to do it. And I think I've got it pretty down packed. So if you have any questions about that, about if anyone's interested in moving to the UK.
Yeah. We want this podcast to like create a community, I guess, for young girls, boys.
Yeah.
I don't
Boys
know.
are included as well.
Yeah. Sports people,
Yeah.
because obviously it's going to be a bit about football. But
we can't help ourselves.
We can't help ourselves. And we have some very exciting plans,
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, I guess we just want it to be almost like a space where people can come and listen, and I guess, I don't know, almost relate to us. And I know we're not going to relate to everyone, but
we want you to feel like you could be sitting there
exactly, like
and having a chat with us.
Just like a chat, and
because that's what I like to listen to. Like I
exactly.
feel like, oh, these guys are like my friends and I don't even know them.
Yeah, and like, I don't know.
Yeah, just if you're someone that is feeling homesick, or you're moving out of home for the first time, or you're living at home and you want to be out living with your friends, but you're still living with your parents.
Yeah.
It's just for anyone that's like, oh, I'm not really sure what's going on in my life right now. Or if you're super stable in your life and want to hear to our problems when you're not so stable in our life and laugh at us.
Yeah.
That's also fine.
Yeah, because I moved out at 16. So I've got a lot of experiences.
Yeah.
A lot of bad. Like, it is very hard, and I guess I'll obviously share some of those experiences because I feel like it's important for people to know that they're not alone in the fact that it is hard moving away from home.
Especially unusual in New Zealand.
Yeah, very hard.
So for you, Millie, what has been the most challenging part of moving away from home at a young age?
I think for me, probably just the pressure I put on myself. Like, obviously I play football and it's competitive. Like, you have to compete throughout the week to get in that starting team. So yeah, I stress myself out a lot. Hanging out with friends, I feel like you take your mind off it completely, which is nice. But I think moving away from home is definitely hard. And I would say for a lot of the girls and boys, the first month is the hardest, especially when you don't know anyone. I would say give it a month. Before you like make up your mind. Because it takes about a month to like get to know people and make friends.
And just because it's hard, it doesn't mean it's bad.
Exactly. Like, it's really hard moving away. Like, you don't have your family, you don't have your friends. You feel a lot of FOMO at first. But once you kind of get into a routine and you like make your group and you like meet your people, you start to enjoy it a lot more.
How has it been maintaining friendships in different places when you're moving around? Has that been difficult?
Yes. I would say 100%. Just because, like, it's so hard not to be consumed by the place you're living. Like, especially now with the time zones, it's so hard to, like, I don't know, keep in contact with a lot of people. So I'm quite bad when I'm away. It's like I'm really busy. So it's hard to keep those
And if you want to
things
call
going.
someone, they might have something else to do. And you text someone and then... Like, I'm so bad at checking my phone. I'm being like, oh, I haven't replied to her for 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, especially in America, I only have like a 5-hour window. To text and like call people. So yeah, it is quite hard. But I would say I try and like catch up with people twice a month. Like, check in, text, but
that's as much as you can do.
My good friends I keep in touch with most days, but it is busy.
And especially when everyone else is making new friends. And did you miss out on a lot of the kind of end of school celebrations and balls and graduation situations?
Yeah, so I don't know if I covered it, but I didn't go to school my last year. I'd actually basically completed year 13 based on my year 12 results, so I only had to do a few papers, I think, because I just wanted to do the minimum to pass at that point. So I missed my whole last year. I got to go to A ball. I went to the St. Cuth's ball with one of my good friends, Maddie. So that was great.
You did.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm so happy I got to go to that. It was so much fun because I just felt like I needed to do one. You know, like otherwise I would have been so like. I don't know, I would have been so jealous. But I didn't get to go to my Mags ball, which was disappointing, but I don't know. It is what it is.
In a new team or environment, or when you're from somewhere else, and is it difficult, or what's some ways to connect with people that are from a completely different country? Like, do you feel different being from New Zealand?
Yeah, I would say it's quite hard at the start and it can feel quite daunting, but yeah, I feel like it kind of almost comes naturally with time. Like, you just get to know each other off the field and on the field. And I would say a big key to that is, like, most of the places I've gone, I've had, like, a flatmate or, like, someone I shared an apartment with. So that was really nice. We became close, and then, like, we kind of expanded our friend group from there, which was great. I would say that's a good tip, even if, like, you're going to uni and you have like a dorm mate or whatever. It's
kind of like when you get into a new class at school. Like, I remember starting intermediate school. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate these people. I don't want to be friends with them. They're so not going to be my friends at all. And then you get to the end of the year and you're like all best friends. And you never thought that they were going to be your friends. And they're such close friends.
Yeah. Like, it's so scary at the start because you may at first think that you're not clicking. But all it takes is just, like, it doesn't need to be best friends, but you can just be close enough friends to the point where you kind of just expand from there, and then maybe you click with other girls.
Yeah, they might have a friend and you're like, I really get along with that person.
Exactly. You're still friends with her, but maybe you get closer with another person.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would just say...
It's also easier to do that, I feel, post-school.
Yeah.
'Cause that's school.
Yeah.
Being the ebbs and flows of friendships. It was always like, oh, if we're not as close right now, that's a horrible thing. And now it's kind of just like, oh, well, everyone's living their life. That's just kind of how it works.
Yeah. And I feel like you kind of learn how to kind of make friends
Yeah.
more with the more experiences you
Yeah.
have in that situation. Like, I went to Mags and I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
Same with St. Carts. So I kind of learned how to make friends young-ish.
What about like age differences between
Yeah.
you and other players, like in the Ferns?
Oh, yeah.
You're very young.
Yeah. At first, I was so scared. When I
Mm.
went into the Ferns, I was low-key a mute. But I was lucky I had like a few good friends.
Yeah.
So I just hung out with them. But I think in the last year, I've kind of...
Because obviously a lot of the girls had like a Wellington connection.
Exactly, yeah.
with
So I played with a lot of girls at
Yeah.
Wellington, so, and like under 20, so I'm good friends with a lot of them.
But also it's nice to have like
It's really
older
cute now.
friends.
Yeah. Oh,
'Cause
100%.
they
I
have
love
so much
those girls.
experience.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
life advice, and they can keep you humble.
Yeah. And they're hilarious, like actually hilarious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say even in America, a lot of the girls are a lot older than me.
Yeah.
But I don't notice it that much.
How have you found being in media, public eye situation? What has that been like? Like being written about and being talked
Yeah.
about? Like, is that something that you read, or do you ignore it,
Yeah.
or do you find it interesting?
I think it's nice when it's nice.
Yeah.
And obviously when I was young, it was all pretty positive.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to like see it because people throw it in your face. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
here
share
it
with you.
is.
Oh my gosh, look, you're
Yeah.
in this.
Exactly. So, yeah, I would say it's hard, but you kind of get
It's
used
manageable.
to it. Yeah. And
Yeah.
like when you're going through hard times, you just
Block it
ignore
out.
everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I know when All
Yeah.
Joe's stuff was coming out, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna read everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, actually, this is not
and it's
probably a very
yeah.
good habit to get into.
Exactly. It's so hard when you're doing well, you want to read the good
Yeah.
stuff, but then when it's not going well.
Because it's like the dopamine rush. It's
Exactly.
like the whole thing about getting like a like on a post,
Yeah.
how it gives you like that whoosh.
yeah,
But then it's probably not the most
Yeah.
sustainable way to keep yourself happy.
exactly. So I've been trying just
Yeah.
to focus on myself. And like I feel like also like the comparison
Yeah.
is like the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Listen, I think along with the challenges, there are lots of highlights. Like
Yeah.
it is exciting, like moving out and having these cool experiences. I've met so many people from around the world. So yeah. So it is hard, but I would say you get used to it, especially
Yeah.
like media.
Yeah.
You're thrown into it at such a young
You
age.
gotta learn
that
how
you
to
just
talk and
get used to it. Yeah.
talk articulately.
Exactly.
Articulately, not like that.
Still need to practice.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you guys for listening to our first episode ever.
Yes.
And we're really excited to record some more. Have you enjoyed yourself, Billie?
I've loved it. I've
Yeah.
had a great time. Have you enjoyed yourself?
I've loved it. It's
I
been so much
know.
fun. Just nice to have a chat.
Yeah.
And please comment down below what you want to hear us talk about, who you want to see on the podcast. And if you didn't like it, you don't need to share that. Just
Yeah.
turn it
Only
off.
positivity, please.
No, but yeah, drop down below who you'd want to see and what you want to hear us talk about,
Yeah.
any questions you have. We're really open to anything
Yeah.
because obviously this is just the first episode and we've got a long way to go.
Yeah. And talk as
We
well.
have a TikTok and we have an Instagram.
Instagram.
And so Millie and Billie Noble.
Noble.
And if you want to send us any emails, millieandbillienoble@gmail.com.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
go follow us on those platforms and we'll probably share more content on there. So
Thanks for
Yeah.
listening or watching or
Yeah.
listening and watching.
thank you so much.
See ya.
Bye.